Your screen, and that means we are live.
But you know this shit's fire.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pin the Gas podcast on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. And I hope you guys have been watching World Superbike and BSB because they're both going on this weekend. You guys know the deal and the routine. This episode is sponsored by Next Level Financial. Take total control of your financial future. Get your complimentary financial analysis today by Seth Starnes. And listen, Matt, I tell everybody this. Don't buy an off-the-rack suit because for 90% of us, an off-the-rack suit is not going to fit you 100% correctly. When you have a suit that don't fit you correctly, it hinders, man, all kinds of, causes issues all the way around riding a motorcycle. So I tell everybody, go to bisontrack.com, get your full custom gear started today, right? Matson, Bison, you guys hear me talk about all the time. Y'all see my Bison gear hanging up. Listen, Tasha, Carter, and yes, Robert too. We can't forget about him. Is absolutely some of the most amazing people you're going to see and meet in person. And what they do for our sport, they're always at every track. If you have a mishap, they're always there to fix it and get you back out on every session. It's absolutely amazing. Go to bisontrack.com. Trust me, people, you won't be disappointed. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, y'all don't understand. It's an absolute honor to sit down with the 2024 Junior Cup champ and that absolute legend himself, Matthew Chapin. What is going on, Matt?
What's up?
You, baby, you.
Just chilling, It's a nice day outside. Just enjoying my weekend off from school.
Right. How's school going for you, bro?
It's going pretty good. Grades are looking not too bad, pretty good. I'm seeing all my friends every day. It's a lot of fun. So
it is. It's very important to finish school, man, and get that education. My parents are always big. When I wanted to ride, they're like, if you ain't got good grades, you're not riding, So it was that. It's that motivation. But I was never in the position you're in, right? You're always traveling. Now you're a champ, and you got a lot going on, And you to take time away. Do you do homeschool or do you actually still go to school?
I still go to school. So I go to public school, yeah.
Nice. Makes it fun too, right?
Yeah, right. Like I don't think I could do homeschool. I think I'd just be too bored, honestly.
I get it and I understand, but I think it's good too because now you got a reset button because you're away from racing, you're away from everybody, and you're there in like a normal outside of the beautiful circus we live in, which is road racing, right? A different world.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's a reset button. But Matt, listen, it's an absolute honor to have you on here. I love seeing you and your family at the tracks. Nothing but laughs and good times. And I just got to say, congratulations, bro. You absolutely destroyed the field this year.
Thank you.
It was amazing to watch, amazing to be there. And yeah, man, congratulations. So listen, we got a lot to talk about. So let's start it off, Matt. How did you get into riding motorcycles at a young age?
So it first really started. So I used to always be in the car with my parents, and I always saw motorcycles drive by, and I would just totally go crazy in the back seat anytime I'd hear or see a motorcycle. So that's when they kind of realized, like I do like motorcycles a lot. And then I kind of started riding a bike at like 2 or 3-ish. And then eventually I kind of got too bored with the bike, I really wanted a dirt bike. So then got a PW50. That was a cool bike. That was a lot of fun. I still remember the first time I ever started that thing by myself. I was like 4 or 5 and I was so excited because he was like, once
yes,
you can start it, you can ride it. And,
yep.
I eventually started it. And then, once I got like used to the PW and everything, then I moved to a Cobra, and the Cobra was a big step. Those things are fast. I remember when one of my friends was on my Cobra and I was sitting at the end of my the end of the driveway waiting for him to drive near me. And he gets on the bike, hits the gas and loops the thing out right away. Just lands right on his back. I just remember doing that and just remember running to him in my boots. And then from there, KTM 65. That's what I went to next. And then
That was a
Chapin,
beast right there, that
that
KTM
thing was a
65,
beast.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was a big step because it was a lot bigger, and then that was also my first time using the clutch.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like KX 85, which I have for a couple months. Sold that, and then we had a 150R that I also used. I rode that on dirt for a little bit, and then we put street tires on that. Started riding that on the mini GP tracks, and then I got a RM 85, and then that's kind of still what I have right now. So
It's a beautiful bike, the RMs. You don't see very many RMs.
yeah,
I ain't seen an RM in a dealership, and I can't even remember. Even all
seriously,
250, I mean, yeah, 250 or 450. I ain't seen a brand new one. It's been a long time. They're beautiful bikes. I was always a huge fan of their dirt bikes for sure. Of course, their street bikes too. They always do good stuff. So we actually got a comment up in here already, Matt. We got Bobby Neeson. What is up? He says, awesome champion right there. You're absolutely right. He is an absolutely awesome champion. So going from that and then transition into, obviously you did club racing too as well, correct?
exactly, yeah.
So going
So
go ahead, Matt.
I did a lot of club racing actually. Like every single weekend of 2023 was just club racing for me. Just getting a bunch of time on the bike. And that's kind of really when I started like noticing the speed clicking and just like getting faster tracks, learning tracks faster. That's when I noticed everything clicking and like just getting on the bike way more. That's just how you do it. You know what I mean?
I do. It's all seat time. It's funny because during the off season, everybody's got their own particular workout regimen that they do, right? But nothing replicates the movement on a motorcycle. Nothing. Not even a simulator, right? Because yeah,
Yeah.
you get to pick up the bike and the force and the body position and all that, but that's basically it. It's the speed and the force and the bumps and the braking and the G's and all that, right? It's
Yeah.
nothing like it.
Nope.
Absolutely. And then so 2023 club racing, right?
Just straight club racing. That's pretty much it. I did 2 MotoAmerica rounds at the end after I started realizing, like we went to pit and we did club racing there and I was like, dang, like my times are right on MotoAmerica times. Like I could be running up front. So then we were like, okay, so we practiced at pit a little bit more. And then we went back there for MotoAmerica and I was like, the first practice, I remember I got third. And in my first ever practice, I was like, that was a huge confidence booster. And then it was just like, from there, the weekend like kind of went downhill, I would say, just because of just bad luck. Like it's your first weekend, don't know really what to expect yet. Just huge learning curve.
Well, that and coming from club racing to your first proper Moto America weekend, everything it's a whole new circus. You just open the door and walk through, right? It's
Yeah,
the
I just
time
remember.
schedules and just everything's just like it's military time, basically, right? It's like boom, 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 done.
Yeah.
Um, how did you find it? Was it pretty easy for you to transition into that?
Honestly, I would say it's a lot easier than people would think just because of the fact that you're not on the track like every hour or so. You know what I mean? Like Moto America's like so spaced out. Like you'll have a practice at like 8 in the morning and then you won't go out until like 3 p.m. again. And it just gives you time to like think about like what can we do to make the bike better? Like what can I do to be a better rider? That type of stuff.
Yeah, reading the track maps and yeah, hey, I'm good here. I'm not so good here. I can improve right here, and that's where the whole mental side of the sport comes in, right? Because motorcycle racing is such a mental game. But you showing up, placing third, like you said, what a confidence boost. You're like, man, I can do this. Like I belong here,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then so you did Jersey too, which was the last round in Jersey last year was just absolutely miserable with all the
Oh my
rain and it
God.
was a flood zone. It was absolutely crazy. And then we get into 2024, showing up 2024, first proper Junior Cup, last Junior Cup season, but first Moto America season for you going in. Did you have did you put any expectations on yourself going into this season?
Nothing like, too strict, like stuff I could definitely do. I think it was like I really wanted to just get like top 10. It was like kind of like in my head I wanted a top 5, but I knew like that's not always possible, especially just because first weekend of the season, not a track that like I've always struggled at Road Atlanta too. So I think honestly, like my goal was just top 10 both races, and then like end of the season, like hopefully a top 5, top 3 in the championship going into it.
But then going into it, all that changed, right? It was
Yeah,
just he just kept going and going and going. I was like, dude, he's unstoppable. That's what it was coming back from the back, dude. It was you had such a proper mega race year.
thank you.
It was absolutely amazing to watch. Again, I can't stop saying it because it was really good, really really good. You gave everybody a run for the money, and there was close racing, right?
It was, yeah.
Um, so let me ask you this: going into a race weekend, how do you mentally prepare for a race weekend, and do you have any certain routines you do before you prepare for battle? As I always say,
Yeah, so I would definitely say like the biggest routine I have, it's always like about like 20 minutes, 10 minutes before I go on track. Me and my mom, we have like one of these it's like a coordination like toy type of thing. It's got like a red handle, a yellow handle, and a blue handle here. And and you just like flip it in the air, and she yells out a color, and I have to catch that color, and we just switch hands. And it kind of just gets my mind in the right place and like, my like abilities going. And yeah, that's definitely my biggest routine. But I would say like going into a weekend, I honestly like really don't have any routines. I just kind of show up and it's like the same thing every time, I guess.
show up and win.
Yeah.
Show up and win. He's like, I just do, yeah, I just do me. How do you deal with on the mental side of things when things ain't going your way? Because it's hard, right? It really is. You're frustrated. Bike's not feeling. I can't feel the front. Well, whatever this situation is, how do you jump over that roadblock? Because that's what it is. You know, when we start not having fun and things ain't going our way, it's like all these roadblocks start popping
Yeah.
up, right? So now we got to hurdle those. How do you overcome those and turn them around and win?
I think it's kind of the fact that like as a racer, sometimes you just need to take a step back and just like think about what's going on. Like you got to think about, I feel like the first thing I always think about is if it's me or if it's more of a bike type of thing. Cause a lot of the time people will be like, oh, the bike's doing this, the bike's doing that. But really it's just you. And that's kind of how it was for me. Like at a couple of these rounds, I was out of it at Barber for some reason, just wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we just have bad weekends, but it's really just about like taking that step back and just thinking about, what can be done and, keeping your head in the right place and like always having a positive mindset, like thinking that it will get better because it usually does.
Absolutely, it will. And a lot of people don't understand too, Matt. You brought a good point. It's not always the bike. It's you, right? You got to
Yeah,
change something, whether it's within yourself or maybe use a little different type of body position and hang off more, hang off
exactly.
left, pick the bike up more, or pick it up less before you get on the throttle. There's a million ways to do it, right? So you got to find the way to also best adapt you to the motorcycle and bring the best out of it, right? I always found it hard for me to, and I still struggle with it. Like doing these changes, I kind of get lost sometimes, even though I try to keep a simple system where it's better if I just adapt myself to the bike instead of trying to make the bike adapt to me more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind
Um,
of what I tried to do this year.
yeah,
And then like I know like Barber and Road Atlanta, like the biggest problem I noticed with my riding was my tuck. Like my tuck was just not there. So at Road America, that's really like all I worked on. And in between rounds, that's what I worked on the most. And I remember at Road America when I finally had gotten the tuck down, it was like all of a sudden I became undraftable. Like it was like people just stopped being able to draft me. Like it's crazy how much of a difference like just being able to like tuck properly makes.
absolutely right, and the full aerodynamics you get, especially with that KYT helmet and
Yeah,
yeah, and the bison suit with the hump, the arrow hump, and yeah, it makes a huge difference, especially on, let's just be honest, a junior cup bike, right? Because it don't have enough power to move its own weight out of a paper bag, so it's all corner speed and braking, and
exactly.
not so much top speed or acceleration. But that's where the draft becomes super important in lower categories too, because that's what it's about, right? So yeah, you're right. The draft is very, very important.
And
So
then It
Go
can be a
ahead, Matt.
very, very, very frustrating thing, the draft. Oh my god. You'll be like, "Wow, like I'm faster than through them than here in these corners, but they're drafting me down the back straight every time and I can't do anything about it." So, sometimes it's a pretty frustrating thing, but it's like a huge, huge game changer in junior cup.
Oh, for sure, 100%. And then also, going along with that, like when you do make a mistake, understanding what you did to make that mistake. That way, the next time it happens, you're less likely to do it, even though sometimes you'll still do it, right? It's just human nature. But fully understanding what happened, I think when a rider uh, has a crash or a moment and they don't understand what it did, I think that's when they get kind of a little lost in the head, a little too much deep, right? When it's something simple, you just don't see it on the data, or you don't remember what happened in that split second,
Yeah.
um, and that's a big part of racing. Um,
I
it's
had I had one of those crashes at Mid Ohio qualifying too. I remember I was just going right up into the keyhole, did nothing different, just lost the front. I wasn't even on the brake or anything. And I was kind of thinking about it for a little bit. I was like, what even happened? And then that was when I was like, all right, well, I just need to stop thinking about it. And like, I can't let this screw with my head because that's really like the biggest part is just like after crashing, you cannot let it just stay in your head. You have to go out and do what you did before crashing.
you know
And
to
yep.
get over that fear, right? It's not okay. I take that back. It's not a fear, Matt, right? But it's I guess it's an anxiety because you went down in that one specific corner. So the next
Yeah.
time you approach it, you're thinking about that, right? It's always right there in the back of your mind. You're like, I'm not doing this again. Yes, I made it through. And then after that, it's like you don't even think about it no more. You
Yeah,
just
no,
push
you
harder
forget
and
about it
harder.
after that
Yeah,
first lap back
yeah,
out.
that's it. It's done. It's over. It's back at it. It's yes, it's good stuff, man. So, what's your favorite racetrack been so far on the Moto America calendar?
Definitely, like I would say, I don't even think it's close in my head, but I would say Mid Ohio. I love that track. Like that's my favorite track in America, I would say. I mean, so far that I've ridden, but
Nice.
no, yeah, I love that place. All the elevation, how technical it is. Like I love technical tracks. So that track definitely suited me really
Well,
well.
I'm excited for you to get the opportunity to ride at my home track, which is VIR next year.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I
Yeah,
like that place.
you've ridden VIR though,
Yeah,
right?
I rode there this
Yeah,
year for a
yeah,
track day, actually.
yeah. It's a fun track.
Really fun.
It's got its undulations and hills, and yeah, so it's like a little baby roller coaster in a way. But I like Mid Ohio. I've never ridden at Mid Ohio. When I was there with you guys, it was the first time I've ever been there. It was different though, Matt, because to me, Mid Ohio was just the way I guess it was set up with the fencing between the two paddocks was just kind of like threw off the vibe of the normal
Yeah,
Moto
that was
America
weird.
weekend feel, right? It was like, but yeah, it was still a great weekend. So yeah, how do you learn new tracks, Matt? Like, do you play them on the PlayStation or the Xbox, or
Well, I play the ones I can on the Xbox, and then like what I do is for like a lot of the other tracks, like I'll just sit in class and I'll be like thinking about racing, and I'll just like go on YouTube on my Chromebook and just watch like onboard GoPro laps of that track. Like I remember before I went to Jennings, I would just watch onboard laps of like 400s on there, just like all day long, just like sitting there. And I think like just using YouTube can teach you a lot. Like I did that for almost every round this year.
oh yeah, it's I stay obviously on YouTube too, watching stuff. It's cool because they got the during a race when you're watching it on TV, it's different because it's all like third person. But there's always a YouTube video out there where somebody's got on a track day the camera right GoPro whatever it is, and it's the 360 right there, and you can actually see and of course walking the track's a huge monumental
Huge.
help. Yeah, it's big. A lot of people don't see the I guess the people that really ain't into racing do a lot of track days don't see the benefit in it, but it's absolutely big time to do track walks and stuff,
It
which I
is.
always liked. I get a kick out of it. It's a lot of fun. um so how do you train, Matt? How do you obviously you stay on the bike, right? But do you do like any workout regimen, sit-ups,
Um,
push-ups, or
so I do motocross. So that helps a lot. But no, I work out at the gym. And I remember like last year we had a weight training class in school and we'd just be able to go in the weight room and lift for like 30 minutes every single school day. So that was a lot. I remember like I gained like 15 pounds in the off season, like going into this season, just because like also height was a thing too. But like just because of lifting, it kind of makes you, it makes you a lot stronger. Like it really makes a difference. And like, you might be thinking about it, be like, it's not really worth it to work out today. But nah, if you work out, it pays off.
110% it does. And also it's that discipline. You need that in our sport, right? Well, you need that in life period, but you got to have that discipline, and it's good. There's days where you're like, I just don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's, so yeah, it's, how did it feel to fight? And has it fully set in yet that you're the 2024 junior champ?
Like I don't know if it's set in yet. It's so hard to tell. I feel like I don't know. Like it feels like I know I want it, but like it feels like I haven't won it at the
Yeah.
same time. Like I feel like my season would feel more completed when I wrapped it up than it does. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I feel like I need to still do more.
Oh, you got plenty more to do and accomplish. So don't worry about that. It's coming. Right. So how did you guys celebrate?
Just hung out at the pits. I don't know.
You,
Colin had drank a little bit. People were having good times. But no, I don't know. We had dinner together, had everybody go over, eat dinner, talk about it, laugh about it, like think about all the memories we made this year and everything like that.
yeah, I bet. Right. You didn't eat anything special, anything in particular. Like, dude, since I won, I'm eating this.
No, we had like chicken and noodles. It was pretty good.
I like chicken and noodles too, right? You're
Seriously.
speaking my language. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. So going into 2025, can you talk about that yet?
Well, I mean, I can talk about it, but I don't even know what's going on. Like
I got you.
honestly,
I
like
got you.
I mean, obviously, we're talking to people, but we're not sure what we're gonna do
Yeah.
yet. Like we're not even close to like our final decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And
So
there's a
it's
lot to
like,
think about.
you know what I mean? I'd love to ride twins this year, but it's a lot of money. So we'll see. Just wait it out, be patient, talk to some teams, and see what happens.
Oh, you'll be there. 100%. You'll be there. I would love to see Junior Cup like go on. So if you guys did take that path again, you can retain that number one plate and put up. Would you run the number one on your bike?
If I did it again, I would have, yeah. But I don't really care, honestly. Like my parents were like, "Oh, you'll never get to run the number one plate." I was like I don't know. It doesn't really bother me.
You can
I like
still
running 95.
You could put it on your leathers though, kind of like what Rossi did, because he never ran the number one. He always had it somewhere on, his shoulder or something.
Yeah.
Had that number one or something. You could do something like that. I always thought it would be cool if I ever won a championship. Yep, absolutely. I'm running it big, huge. That's what all you're gonna see is the big number one. It's gonna go from the windscreen all the way to the front fairing. Big one, right? It's something to be proud of, right? And you got a lot of people in your corner that are absolutely proud of all your achievements. I know your parents and Colin and me and everybody is. It's you brought a lot of emotions throughout the year, and that journey is something that people will remember for the rest of their life for
Yeah.
sure. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
sure in like 30 years from now, I'll be thinking back on this season, and be like, dang, like that's when it's really gonna set in. Is when I'm like old and sitting on my couch, eating chips and watching the news.
Watching the news, eating chips, or your kids are out there racing and riding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so. Where do you see yourself, Matt? Like, what goals have you set forth for yourself, if any, through your career? Because every racer's got a certain path that they envision, at least on taking, right? It's like a tree. It starts out on one path, and there's many branches and ways to go. But
Yeah.
where does Matt see himself?
Honestly, I'd love to go to like World Superbike and go that kind of direction. Just because like I feel like World Superbike is much more possible for me to get into than MotoGP. Just because like I'm already 16, so it'd be hard to like go back, get on a 250, then try to make it to Moto 3. and then, like move to a Moto2 bike. But I mean, at this rate, I think I'd rather just like continue moving up to like bigger bikes slowly and then just see where I end up. Honestly, like it's not really about like I won't like, let's say I'm riding in America for the whole rest of my life. I'm fine with that. I want to be able to make a living off of it, like be able to have that be like my main thing.
Oh, for sure. And
That's like the main goal.
I have no doubt you will accomplish this goal. 110% you will, right? And I would love that. We need more Americans in World Superbike. We need Americans in BSB. We need Americans everywhere in all kind of German road racing, all of it. Canadian. Let's take over the world like we used to, right? We
Seriously.
was everywhere. But yeah, I would love to see you over there. I think it would be a good fit. That and BSB. Of course, I'm a huge BSB fan. Because they run their super bikes with no electronic aids on it. So it's old school, proper way of racing, right?
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So what road racing do you watch? Do you watch obviously World Superbike, MotoGP, or any of that?
I have a MotoGP subscription, so I do watch a lot of MotoGP and then really just MotoAmerica. I honestly don't really watch BSB or World Superbike too much, but I like follow all their pages and everything, so that's kind of how I
Yeah.
keep up with that sort of stuff.
Did you get a chance to meet Luca Allen when he come to Mid Ohio?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
We
he's
said
a
hey
good
to each
mate of
other,
mine.
introduced ourselves.
Yeah, he's cool, man. Luca's absolutely amazing. I didn't get a chance to meet him over there when I went to Cadwell Park last year. But obviously I've had him on my podcast and we became, still friends, and called me up. Was like, I'm coming to America. I was like, you're coming to Mid Ohio, bro? I'll see you there, right? So yeah, it was cool, man. It's good also for us, right, to have them over here and us over there. It's great for our sport in general.
Exactly.
Dude, I would love to see is Colin hopefully going to follow you guys to the next stage of your career next year?
I hope so.
Me too.
That'd be great. He's a great guy, so it'd be really nice to have him as part of my racing journey for the rest of the years.
Yes.
But we'll see.
So what was it like being teammates with Eli?
It was fun. Eli was a good mentor to me at the beginning of the year when I was like struggling more at like Road Atlanta, Barber. He was helping me through all these problems and just kind of like explaining things out to me. And he had a little bit more MotoAmerica experience than I did, so kind of talked me through the weekends and just helped me out. We went out with each other and qualifying, stuff like that. But no, he was a really good teammate.
Oh, he's amazing. Him and his dad, Eric, they're freaking amazing human beings. Eli's definitely a character, right? And he's super fast too, man.
Yeah.
It's always good, Matt, to have positive people around you at all times at the track, right? I think that's something else that a lot of people don't realize when they show up to the track. They just see you walking around with all these sponsorships. They assume you're making whatever 50, 60 grand a year, but a happy rider is a fast rider, but in order for that, everybody in the team, it's got to be this big, positive, nothing but love and vibe environment, right?
Exactly.
Once you're in a team and things ain't vibing all the way around, it's such a mental tiredness it puts on the rider. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so crucial to have people there that believe in you 110% wholeheartedly at all times. No matter what you're going through, somebody's there always doing this in your ear. Hey man, stay positive, smile, you got this, blah 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 blah. It's huge mentally for riders.
And
You know what I mean?
I would say, like one of the biggest parts is just like when you do underperform in like a practice or something like that, like just you don't really want like somebody coming up to you being like, "Oh, what are you doing? All this, all that." It's just kind of like, you ask what happened, you ask if there's anything you can change on the bike. And I think that's what we were really good at this year. Like when I'd have a bad practice, they'd ask me like if it was me or the bike, and I'd tell them the truth. And then we'd get the problem solved, and then I'd go out and do a lot better than I did before. And I'd say like the whole like biggest part of it is just staying calm. Like your team cannot get overwhelmed, or else it's going to make the rider overwhelmed, and then it just leads to a bunch of problems.
110%. And I like what you said. The truth. I got to tell my dad the truth, right? Because if you start lying to yourself, especially in racing, you're just going to get so lost in yourself. You don't even know what to believe anymore or what you're feeling on the bike because you keep lying. And there's a lot of truth to that. It really is. I'm glad you said that and you understand. That's a big thing, man. You always speak your mind, tell the truth. And
It
that
is,
pertains to everything in life.
yeah, it'll never help you if you're always lying to yourself. You're like, oh, it's the bike doing this, but really it's just you. You know, like maybe you're just not late enough on the brakes, early enough on the gas. It's just, you know, there's a lot of things you can make as a rider, a lot of adjustments you can make to get it better.
It is, you know, and again, that's part of that the mental thing, and also it's kind of an ego thing too at the same time, right? You got to be willing to put your ego aside and listen to the information that everybody's telling you, even though you don't see it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm not saying you have a big ego, but in a race situation, there is an ego to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there always is.
Yeah. So it's learning to, which sounds like you absolutely have, which is great. Put it to the side and listen to what people are telling you and be like, you know what? Absolutely, you probably got some truth to this. And you go out and you change it, and then next thing you know, you're freaking, well, everybody knows all they got to do is go back and watch the 2024 season, and they'll see exactly what happened. You know what I mean? So how fun was the season? I mean, you know, it's 2024 went by for me like this. I'm sure it went by like that for you too as well, right? So looking back, you're like, I feel like we just started.
Yeah, that's how it's been, honestly, you know. Like I look back, I'm like, dang, like Road to Atlanta's like 6 months ago now. Like it really doesn't feel like that. Honestly, it feels like it's like 3 months, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Like it really flew by. And this was like my favorite season ever. Like this is the most fun I've ever had in a racing season. Just because of like, you know, I've never like had a super winning season like this. I mean, except like club racing last year. I'd win a lot of races, but that was also just because like less competition, to be honest. Like, you know, but there's just less competition. And then it was like when MotoAmerica kids would come out to those club races, it was so much fun. Just because, I mean, I'd learned so much.
Oh yeah,
So much.
100%. Iron sharpens iron, and then that's truth, right? And I think it's important too for people to stay on mini bikes, stay on the little bikes when you train too, right? You learn
Exactly.
so much. You know, and to me, I love the mini bikes. I love racing little Groms and Z's and yeah, little CRF 100s and 110s, dude. It's so much fun, you know. It's smiles and dude, but you're learning so much. You're pushing the front harder than you ever thought this bike could handle, and it's just, you know, and you're just,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna crash.
Lights all
Levers,
over the place. Like, oh, you
bro,
know.
yeah, and your brake levers literally pushed as far back as it can go, and you're like, I don't see how my front hadn't tucked yet, you know. It's yeah, man, it's absolutely a lot of fun. So I cannot wait to see what you're going to do in 2025. I already know it's going to be a legend of a season, just like 2024 is. Obviously, you got a lot of supporter and a lot of fans, and I appreciate the shirt. I actually wore it when me and your dad was on together.
Sweet.
Um, I wore it on one of my podcasts. It was like 5 or 6 podcasts ago. I always wear all my friends' shirts on different podcasts just to show all my love and support, man, because you guys and girls are absolutely legends and amazing. It's so much fun for me, for all the emotions you give us throughout the season, right? It's different when you're just watching and you don't really know none of them, right? Versus you know them personally and then seeing it and all the emotions and the ups and the downs. It's absolutely freaking amazing. So look, blah, blah, blah. Trouble just talking for a second. Let me ask you this: who's your guy in MotoGP? Who do you follow?
Mark Marquez.
Mark Marquez. Everybody
Yeah.
follows Marquez.
I've always loved him. I just remember like playing like older MotoGP games growing up on like my Xbox 360, and I would always pick Mark Marquez growing up on the Repsol.
Oh, new Repsol.
So
I love it.
he's been my favorite rider for pretty much all of my life.
He's absolutely a legend of the sport, right? And anybody
Yeah.
that says, you know, then you hear the whole thing, oh, Valentino, Mark Marquez, you know, blah blah blah. But then we could say Giacomo Agostini, Mike Hill. I mean, there's so many legends of the sport. It's hard to. But to me, the GOAT of all time is 4.6, 110% hands down. Not saying that Marquez is not a legend like he is, but what Valentino did to MotoGP, how he grew MotoGP and made it to where it is now, was his character, the way he treated the fans, the show he'd put on when he won. It's all that. Have you thought about doing any kind of antics like that when you went out there on the track?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't really have the support to, go throw a glove to the fan every time. I'd be spending a lot of money on gloves. I think my dad would be pretty mad at me. So,
I'm not talking
but
about throwing gloves. I'm talking about like, having your dad or somebody run out there and you put on like a clown
oh
wig or
yeah,
just,
just running
yes,
around all crazy and stuff.
showboat, man. We need that Moto America.
We do. I
Yeah.
thought I thought it was really cool when all of us at the end of the second Junior Cup race, we all stopped in turn 5 and took our knee pucks off and were throwing them. And all the fans were trying to catch them. It was a lot of fun.
Dude, I love to see that because that's giving back to the sport. That's giving back to the fans, right? And dude, I guarantee those fans that grab those, they'll never forget that, Matt. You're like, I remember that time we went there and Matt and Avery and blah 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 took off their things and threw them out. Check it out, I got this, and this is what I got. Yeah, it's dude, that's absolutely amazing, right? I know I would be because I'm a fanboy. I'd be like, yes, look what I got. Check out this knee slider right here. Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember when I would go to MotoAmerica when I was a lot younger. I remember one year I went and I met Jake Gagne and he gave me one of his knee pucks and signed it. And I remember I remember that forever and it's still sitting in my drawer in my room. It's just been sitting there for years and I've remembered that for my whole life. So, like when you've kind of had like the fan perspective, you kind of understand how it makes them feel when you do stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, like, you gotta think like they'll be thinking about New Jersey and they'll want to come back to Moto America because they had a lot of fun because we were throwing knee pucks and stuff like that. So
Yeah, and then they'll come up to you and be like, Matt, I remember last year I was standing over here in turn 7, you threw your knee puck at me, man. I really appreciate it. And then if you had an extra one, like right there on the spot, you'd be like, hang on, I got something for you. Run back there and grab another one and sign it and give them to them, or a tear off your helmet, you're just gonna throw away, right? Just dude,
yeah,
it means a lot to the fans of the sport when
it
people
does.
like you do stuff like that. And it's great to see. It's again, it makes them, and then they tell their friends that never been. They're like, oh yeah, dude, check it out. You guys need to come. And yeah, man, it's good times, man. Absolutely good time. So I know you're looking forward to 2025 because I am.
I'm ready to get back on the bike.
Do you watch the Isle of Man TT at all?
Not really. Like I don't follow it, but I mean I've watched it before, but I'm not like, too. I don't know that much about it.
Well, I'm a nerd boy when it comes to the TT, man. It's my favorite race of the year. It's such a beautiful it's, to me, it's the most beautiful thing you ever see in your life when it comes to racing is the TT. Not saying that closed circuit racing ain't just as beautiful. It is. It's just beautiful in its own painting. It's its own way. You know what I mean?
It is.
Freaking Keith Kelly says, "What's up, guys? Got some of the herd on today? Absolutely. Everybody should be part of the herd, right? Yeah. So you're going to be part of the herd next year too, right?
I don't know. I hope so. I don't even know what's going on.
I'm gonna get on that. I'm calling Robert and Tasha here when we get done with this. Yeah, and they're gonna call Yo Daddy Phil, so expect a phone call. We're gonna get this done. But I love my bison suit, man. It's absolutely amazing. I haven't had a chance to. I rode the RC51, but that's just to try to break it in, right? But I haven't had a chance to get out there and hustle it around. I was supposed to go to the Heron Compound this weekend. Matter of fact, I was supposed to be doing this podcast at the Heron Compound with you, but obviously with the hurricane coming through, they canceled it. So I'm just
That
glad all
was
my
the South Florida race, right? The mini
yep,
GP race.
yep, yeah. I'm glad all my friends out there are safe and sound too, because that was a hell of an ordeal with that hurricane coming
It
through.
was.
We got Spencer Humphrey in the house. What is up, Spencer? Spencer's freaking amazing.
Spence.
You know Spence?
Yeah, of course I know Spencer.
Yeah, I know Spencer. He's awesome.
I actually grew up with Spencer in New Jersey mini GP.
Man.
Owen.
Yep, Owen. What's up, Owen? And then Spencer says, Matt, what race was it where you decided you could take the championship?
Where I decided, or like when I thought about it?
When you realized that I could actually make this happen.
I think it was like the second race at Brainerd. Because I remember after the first race, I was up like like 30 points. And then it was like the second race, like right after the second race had ended, I think I finished like 40 something points ahead of ahead of Yandel in the championship at the time. And then it was like I remember Logan had a bad crash in race 2, and then he got restarted and he couldn't rejoin just because of his back and everything. And that could have put a big gap in the points. And then that's when I was like, all right, well, like I was looking into Mid Ohio, I was like, I mean, I can do this. If I come out with 7 more points than Yandel comes out with, like I won the championship. So
And awesome, man. Who would you say what was your biggest at the beginning of the season as you started progressing and winning and doing really, really good? Who would you say was your biggest threat versus who ended up being your biggest threat?
I think that my biggest threat after like round 2 at Barber was probably like Logan Cunnison. But then like going into the season, I remember it was like Avery because I thought, Avery had just won it, so I was a little intimidated. But no. And then at the end, I think it was Yandel who was right there. Me and Yandel were really close all season. And then I remember he had like bad weekend at Road America, and then another bad weekend at Brainerd, and then that kind of allowed a big gap in the points.
Yeah, Yandel, he definitely come on super strong towards the end of the season for sure. He's always fast. Yandel's yeah, he is. It's so cool. It's absolutely amazing. So we got Colin Barton. What is up, man? The legend himself in the house. He says, "What's up, lads? What's up, mate? Just finished a round of golf, the only sport that requires one ball." You're right, right? And won all the money, dude. Congratulations. I'm good at golf too on Tiger Woods golf. So anybody wants to play Tiger Woods on the PS5, let's go. Let's get it in. Real in real life golf, I do like to play. It's to me, road racing's like one of the most mental games there is besides golf, just because the greens and the winds, man, there's just so much to it, just like road racing, right?
I
And then
think I think I've only been golfing like once or twice, honestly, on a real course. But I was at Topgolf last night, actually.
that's I always wanted to go. Is that fun?
It's a lot of fun.
I bet it is. I
You
bet.
can chill out, get food with your friends, play some golf.
I
And it's
like
really fun when you're on the 3rd floor and can just whack the ball. Because I mean, it's not golf is definitely really hard to get good at, but it's not hard to hit the ball like not that far initially. You know what I mean? Like it's not hard to drive like 125 yards, I think. Like
Yeah.
which is obviously very poor, but it's
Yeah. Shit, I'm glad if I hit it 75 yards. You kidding me? I'm like, yes, I nailed that. Did y'all see that? Yeah, they're like, dude, you suck. Boo.
yeah, right. Like all
Like
my
I'm
friends over there, like they're all like hitting the back wall at Topgolf, and I'm like barely making it halfway down the course. So
and I look to my left and there's this 8-year-old just straight cranking them out the park. Whack them.
yeah, right.
I need to step my game up. Yeah. Spencer says, was the thought process every round just to dominate or play it safe and let it all just happen?
So Road Atlanta and Barber and Road America Race 1, I feel like my mentality like wasn't really there yet. So I was kind of just like playing it safe all those rounds. And then it was like race 2 at Road America. That's when I started to like have like that mentality of like just wanting to go out and lead every single lap of every race. And then that's when I started noticing like I'd improved a lot when my mentality changed. So I think yeah, towards the end of the season it was definitely just to go out and dominate every single race and every single lap.
I love it. Dominate every lap, every race, just destroy the opposition. Make them when they show up be like, well, we know who's going to race for second and third, right? And you're right,
Yeah.
Spencer. Big dogs got to eat, right? Look, just like a true champion said, y'all just heard him. It's he said, rah, rah. That's right. Absolutely, rah, rah. It's good stuff. But it's very important to have that mentality, right? One thing I love, Mike says, Spencer, get back to work. Sell some of them bikes, boy. That's hilarious. Owen said, rah, rah. But it's very important for, and that's what separates the legends of the sport versus everybody else is that killer mentality. It's you got to it's, in my personal opinion, it's hard to be friends with people in the paddock and be super, super competitive. But if you have that, you're one of the few that can draw that line and keep them both separated. Um, is what separates winners from legends. You know what I mean? That yeah, we're friends. We're gonna ride around the paddock right now and laugh and giggle and pop a couple wheelies. But when we line up on that grid and this visor comes down, you're done.
Exactly. That's kind of the nice thing about Junior Cup because you guys are all screwing around before you go out on track on the bikes, and as soon as you get your helmet on, everybody's enemies at that second, and then as soon as we get off the bikes, everybody loves each other again.
I
So
love it.
it's a lot of fun, just that aspect of it.
It is. It is. Absolutely it is. Man, dude, listen, we're 45 minutes into this. I told you it was going to go by like this. It don't even seem that long, does it?
Yeah, no, I thought that was like 10 minutes.
Right. I mean, dude, but no worries. We'll definitely do a part two. I want to get away from all the motorcycle talk and I want to ask, of course, Spencer. He says, any specific person you had beef with?
Mm, I mean, there's a few people who kind of got on my nerves throughout the season, but I'm not gonna say any names on here, but there's definitely a few people that did some stuff that was kind of weird and unnecessary, but not really enemies, but
Yeah, it's that's part of the game, though. You know, maybe that's just their way of trying to get in your head and
yeah, exactly.
get you to, you just got to play the game back, man. Always smile, always show that love. And Spencer, of course, Spencer's going to say this name call, name drop, baby 101. That's hilarious. But yeah, dude, it's always like that in every class of, and it probably maybe get a little worse the higher the ladder up you crawl, right? Nobody likes to see the new kid on the block or the new woman on the block show up and just absolutely murder everybody. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because then they're like, oh shit, we got to deal with him now. Yeah. Um, Rocco says, who was your favorite rider to battle with this past season?
Um, to battle with, I would say like some of my favorite riders was like Avery, Ella, Eli, uh, Logan Cunnison's pretty fun to battle with. Just I mean, honestly, a lot of people. I like all the battles. I think battling's more fun than just pulling a gap and riding your own race. So I mean, I don't know. I had a lot of people that I liked battling with all season.
It is right. I like the battles too. I don't like to see just a Jake Gagne do Jake Gagne things. I want to see
Yeah.
everybody freaking up in there. Let me ask you this: what's the one rider you learned the most from this season?
Eli. I would definitely say Eli, because Eli gave me a lot of tips and tricks throughout the season. Because the experience he has, he's a little bit older. So like it was like along his journey, he was a little bit older, so he was able to understand it more as I was younger. So it's just like little things, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, don't brake as hard here, but get on the gas earlier here, brake earlier here, but not as much brakes here. You know what I mean? So just little tips and tricks like that, but he definitely helped me out a lot throughout the whole season.
And of course, he probably helped you with a buttload of Red Bulls too, right? Because they're always Red Bulling it up all the time.
Always had a Red Bull.
Always has a Red Bull. I love it, man. I love it. I remember Jersey when I met him and his dad for the first time, not this year, but the past year. They almost ran out of Red Bulls, and I was going to run down to the store and go refill them up on some Red Bulls. And actually, dude, Eli actually gave me I need to hang it back up. He gave me one of his old leather suits. You can't see it because it's sitting over here in a box. Because I'm getting ready to rearrange my room. I bought some more hooks and stuff so I can hang a lot of my other friends' stuff up too. Like I got, dude, so many t-shirts. I want to try to.
Got too many friends, man.
You can never have too many friends, man. And my favorite, I get asked this a lot, man, off the podcast. People want to know who my favorite racer is. And it's all my friends that race. It's Matt, it's Yondell, it's Eli, it's Isaac, it's Avery, it's Ella, it's all my friends that race throughout the world. All you guys and girls are my absolute favorite. I would rather show up to the track, hugs, fist pounds, give you money for your t-shirt, wear your shirts, buy your hats, support you guys than I would uh whoever, Pedro Acosta or Jack Miller, right? So yeah, it's you
Definitely
guys are
goes a
my
longer
favorite.
way to supporting a lot of the smaller riders because you know that's what they really need versus like Pedro Acosta. He's kind of got everything figured out right now. So you know what I mean? Like, what is one T-shirt gonna do?
Nothing, right? Like I said, that's why when I show up, I ask my friends, "You guys got any merch?" And usually they're like, "Here, just take a t-shirt, blah blah." And then of course I give you guys one of my t-shirts, but it's I would rather support you guys than I would anybody else because to me, in my eyes, they're there and they're on their way down, right? They're not coming up that ladder to make it where you, my
Yeah,
friend, is absolutely taking strides, getting up that ladder for sure. Not small steps at a time either. And I love it. So yeah, so listen, Matt, I want to get into which one of my favorite parts of the podcast where everybody that listens to this gets to know Matthew Chapin, the legend, on a personal level away from the racing, right? Um, so I'm gonna ask you this. Who's the most famous person you have in your cell phone?
in my cell phone.
Who's the most famous person in your phone?
Um, I think it's this guy that like he like makes music. It's one of my brother's friends that he went to high school with, and he makes music. He is like I think he has like probably has like 50,000 like monthly listeners on Spotify.
Wow,
Yeah, he's
that's
he's not
awesome.
like he's not super big, but he's not small either. So
I love it. It's man, I love to see people doing what they love to do, their passion, right? I think this world would be a better place and a much happier place, right? I just made a new word. That if everybody had a passion that they followed and it was deeply in love with, right? Then we wouldn't have so much of this bullshit that goes on day to day. Uh, do you have any pets, bro?
yeah, I have a dog. Her name's Lexi. She's huge. She's an American Bulldog. So like I don't know. Do you know that breed, American Bulldog?
Yeah, absolutely. I got a pit bull right here,
Oh
Charlie.
yeah.
She's always in here with me. She's old though, man. She's like 13, 14. We call her the crypt keeper, the way she walks around sometimes, right? And she sits like a frog. It's absolutely hilarious the way she sits.
That's
Um, do you ever name your bikes? Like, do you have a nickname for any of your motorcycles?
no. I don't name him anything.
No.
Never really been a thing that I've done. I don't know why.
It's all good, man. Some people do, some people don't. Dude, let's say you're on the starting grid, right? The visor's getting ready to go down. Everybody's getting off the grid. What's the one thing your dad or the umbrella guy or girl always says to you before they leave the grid?
Good luck. He doesn't really he honestly doesn't say a whole lot or it's like if I'm not like qualified on the front row, he'll be like get up front fast or something like that. Just like one little thing, you know what I mean? So I don't get all overwhelmed and think about things before the race.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us something we don't know about you, Matt.
So I play high school lacrosse.
Nice.
And like one of my favorite hobbies, like outside of racing, is hunting, deer hunting. I love it. I like deer hunting. I can sit in the stand for like 6 hours and never get bored somehow. But like if I were to sit on the couch, I'd be like getting all bored and like freaking out because I'm sitting still all day. But now in the stand, I can sit there and not move all day long.
Well, that's another passion of yours, right? And that's why, because
Yeah.
you're so passionate about it. Versus me, like, okay, I'm just gonna clear it. I like to fish, right? I'm not a real big hunter. Um, Shooting a deer and then pulling it out. I've done it one time, and I went to go gutting it, and I just lost it and threw up everywhere. I was like, "This is not for me, man. I don't see how you guys do this, right? Like, this is not me at all." But if we was in a zombie apocalypse and I had to do the shit, that's completely different. But I love deer meat, right? I eat it, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm just not a big hunter, man. I'd rather fish. Um, I like to fish.
Yeah, the first deer I killed, I remember we were gutting it, and thing made me really like just smelled so bad. And one of my friends had to do it, and I was just sitting over there in the corner like, "Ugh, ugh," just like gagging every 5 seconds and covering my nose and all that sort of stuff.
Dude, that was me straight up, dude. I was like, "Oh, I can't hold it." Yeah, my name is Ralph for sure. Yeah. Uh, What is your worst habit?
My worst habit,
Your worst habit.
I would say it's probably just being lazy. Like I'm pretty lazy around my house. Like I don't do a whole lot. If I'm at home, I'm either like laying in my bed eating something like in the kitchen or like playing like some sort of video game. And then it's like, but like then when I go out, like I actually get stuff done. Like I'll go out and then I'll like go work out at the gym or like I'll go hang out with my friends and we'll go to like the mall or something like that. It's just like I'd say it's just like being a little bit lazy during the day, you know what I mean? But also I feel like it's just so nice to relax after school and like, getting home from the track and stuff like that.
You're out there at the mall chasing all them girls around, Matt, you and your friends. You ain't got to lie to us, man. We already know the deal. We already know the deal. Your Philip, your dad says, I have the video. I gotta see that video, man. I wish my buddy would record me because it was I was all over the place. Like I was throwing up like that smell, bro. I was like, oh my God. Oh yeah. But anyway, I ate the deer. I just couldn't clean it. So
Exactly. That's
boo
how.
on me, good on you. Yeah. Um, that's awesome. So listen, Matt, I listen to a lot of audiobooks, right? I'm a big audiobook. The only manuals. The only thing I read is shop manuals, motorcycles, of course. Do you listen to any audiobooks at all?
No, I don't really. I'm not a big book guy. Like I don't. I definitely could not read, but like like for school, if I had the choice to, read or listen to an audiobook, I'd pick the audiobook.
Yeah, for sure.
Just
Me
because
too.
I mean that's definitely more of my thing. I'm like more of like a audio learner than like a visual learner, if that makes sense.
It does. It makes perfect sense. Do you listen to any podcast?
I watch yours. That's about it.
Thank you for all the love and support, man.
Yeah,
It's
you're welcome.
absolute honor, bro. Um, what's your favorite holiday? Everybody's got their own favorite holiday. Of course, most people say Christmas because you get gifts, but I always loved Halloween because I like horror flicks and stuff like that, right? So, what's
I'd
your favorite
say
holiday?
I mean, I would definitely say number one is Christmas, but
Of course.
besides the gifts, it's just like the time of the year.
Yeah.
Like I like December. I like the time of the year, like all the Christmas music and then like all the Christmas decorations, that kind of stuff. But then I'll definitely say like number two, it would be like tied between Halloween and Thanksgiving. Just because Thanksgiving is really fun because you get to go like hang out with your family and stuff, and then you have all that good food, and then you have like Halloween's fun just because of all the dressing up and all the decorations and hanging out with your friends and going trick or treating when we were younger, just stuff like that.
Getting all that free candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. My son, yeah, I still dress up, right? So I'm a little kid at heart, man. So absolutely. Rocco says, what type of music does the champ listen to?
I rap music. I like rap. I like Lil Uzi. I like him a lot. That's like definitely my number one for sure by far.
So if you use to pull up your cell phone right now and pull up your Apple Music, what's the one song on your phone right now if you use to hit play? Let me see what mine is.
Let me check.
Mine's R&B featuring Megan Thee Stallion by Young Dolph.
Wait, I'm pulling it up right now.
That's what I was jamming to earlier.
It's called Sanguine Paradise by Lil Uzi Vert.
I like it. Lil Uzi. He I think him and Wiz Khalifa did some stuff together, if I can remember right. That was actually really good. I mean, I listen to that. That's such a broad question because I listen to all type of music, right? Just depends on the mood you're in. I like rap, Frank Sinatra, classical. I mean, you name it. Heavy, not like super heavy metal, of course, like Metallica. I love the Eagles, and yeah, it just really just depends. What's your top 3 movie list?
Movies?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say number one is Waterboy.
Love Waterboy.
I love that movie. Number two, I would say is Happy Gilmore. I like that movie too. And then like number three, just from like growing up, is like Elf. You know the movie
Dude,
Elf, the Christmas movie? Movie's good.
my son's got every freaking elf there is imaginable. The elf. That's all he wanted. I was like, dude, the elf's supposed to come out surprise. He's like, nope, not my elf. He's staying with me. And then, yeah, dude, yeah, Absolutely no. All about Shelf on the Elf. Yeah, Elf on the Shelf. Whatever, I said it backwards. Are you a Star Wars or a Star Trek guy?
Neither.
Neither.
Yeah,
Marvel or DC?
I would say Marvel.
What Marvel character would you be, Matt?
Hmm. I don't even know, to be honest. Like never really thought about it. I've never been like honestly, I've never been like a big movie guy. Like I've never really watched movies like that.
Yeah,
Except for like, like I like funny movies. Like I like Adam Sandler a
I
lot.
like Adam too. Adam's he's absolutely amazing. Let me ask you this: if you had your own private track day and you can invite 3 people in the whole world, dead or alive, what 3 people you gonna invite to your track day? It could be from MotoGP to whoever.
So I would say I would probably get Owen and Rocco to go because those are two of my good friends. And then I would say like just because it would be really cool, I'd probably get like Mark Marquez to go. Just because it'd be sick. Like I can just imagine like us three riding with Mark Marquez. That'd be really cool and a lot of fun.
I guarantee it would be with a lot of laughs and yeah, you would learn a whole bunch for sure. Yeah. Yeah, they think you're deadly now. You go out there and train with Mark Marquez. It's all game over then, right? I love it. Matt, you have your own private island. What's the one racetrack you'd have on your island?
On my island, hmm, I'd say Mugello.
I love Magello.
Yeah, that track is sick.
Love Magello. It's one of my favorite. I've of course I got favorite tracks in America and overseas. Magello is one of my overseas. That's absolutely. I just love the way it flows. That Phillip Island. Of course, my all time favorite track is Cadwell Park. Besides the TT, but yeah, it's. Owen says, "What is your all time favorite track ridden or not ridden yet?"
My all-time track that I've ridden is Mid Ohio. I'd say that. Hopefully it's some Spain tracks after this winter. After I go ride a Spain track, in November. Hopefully it's something like that. But right now it's Mid Ohio, or the only place that comes close to it that I've ridden is the Ridge. The Ridge was a cool track, just because like the waterfall and everything like that. That was a cool track. But a track that I haven't ridden that I would
Ye-
definitely want to ride is honestly I'm gonna go with Portimao.
Portimao looks fun, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Absolutely. What other sports are you into?
Well, so growing up my whole life, I played football. I played football in ninth grade, and then last year was my first year just not playing football because I moved schools and honestly, like, just not the size to play football anymore. Like, racing's I'm kind of more built for racing at this point. But no, I played football. I've played lacrosse growing up my whole life. I wrestled. I did all those types of sports just because my dad, he used to wrestle. He used to play football, and then he was my youth coach growing up, and we won like 6 or 7 Super Bowls. Like we won every single year except one year. All the
Nice.
Super Bowls. So I had a lot of fun playing youth football. That was kind of my whole childhood, and then it was kind of like a balance between youth football and racing when I hit like 12 years old. And then I don't know, I mean, it just kind of turned into racing now. Just kind of moved away from football and went down a different path.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did. Absolutely. Listen, if you could pick one superpower, what's the one superpower you would pick?
Um, Teleportation.
Wouldn't that
Just
be
'cause
cool?
then I can go anywhere, you know what I mean? Like just snap your fingers and you're in California at the beach or, something cool or at any racetrack you could ever want.
Bro, that's what I would do. I'd be like, BSB, psh, bye, boom,
Yeah,
there I
right.
am, right? Or MotoGP, see ya.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's like
right
it's
there.
like, "Oh, Mark Marquez just won. Gotta go there, see that." And then it's like, "Oh, somebody else won in America. Gotta go there, see that."
Oh, that would be awesome, dude. Absolutely. Celebrity crush, Matthew. Do you have a celebrity crush?
Hmm. I don't even know. I mean, I don't know. I think celebrity crush is probably Brecky Hill, if you know who that is.
Bricky Hill. Heard of, but I haven't really paid attention. I'm sure my son does. I'm sure if
Yeah.
I called him in here and say who Bricky Hill, he'd be like, "Oh, dude, check this out, Dad. Boom, there, right there. That's right there. It is. It's hilarious." Yeah, he's my son is something else, man. Absolutely something else. Well, listen, Matt, this has been a lot of fun, man. We're an hour and 5 minutes into this. I don't want to take up any more of your weekend time to relax because I know you got a busy schedule coming up. I cannot wait to see what 2025 is in store. Again, congratulations on your championship to you and your family. It's man, nothing but love for every single one of you. It was an amazing season, amazing to
Thank
be a
you.
part of, and amazing to spend time with you guys this season. Looking forward to next season. Before we get off here, I'm gonna let you give all your shout outs, but I want to give mine first, right? Because I'm gonna let you end the podcast. So, of course, Next Level Financial, big shout out to them, Seth Starnes, for all your financial needs, right? BisonTrack.com. People, what are you waiting on? I'm trying to tell you now, go to BisonTrack.com and let's freaking get it done, right? It's absolutely the best people in the best suits, right? Chef Eats, big shout out to Chef Eats. Matt, have you had any Chef Eats?
I actually have never tried Chef Eats.
Bro, listen, I need to put your dad in touch with Jeff. His food is absolutely amazing. And he has athlete's meal too, right? So he makes these specific athlete's meals for an athlete and a legend such as yourself, for your tight schedule at the track, instead of, bringing the grill and the gas and the charcoal, whatever it
Yeah.
is, right? You just got a microwave. You plug it in, you throw it in there for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The steak is absolutely amazing, tender and juicy and not overcooked. The chicken is too. Dude, his whole food lineup is absolutely just delicious. I know people probably tired of hearing me talk about it. Well, if you are, then go to chefeast.com and get your meals on the way. It's simply amazing food. Flying Eyes Optics, big shout out to them. I got these sunglasses. Sponsorship actually took on when I was in Wisconsin, man. These things right here, they're made in Austin, Texas, and assembled in Austin, Texas. So they are a U.S. product. They're the lightest sunglasses I've ever had. And they're actually made to wear up underneath your motorcycle helmet. So there's a lot of times people go out there and they don't have a dark visor. It's a clear visor. You need to wear a pair of shades, right? All the stiff arms, pressure points on your head, start getting headaches. Now you're not having fun no more. Flying Eyes Optics is the solution. They're my favorite pair of sunglasses, and you can get them prescription too as well. So you guys can go to flyingeyesoptics.com, use the discount code Pendergast10 and save 10% of the most amazing sunglasses you're ever going to have. Big shout out to SFL Mini GP, Jersey and South Florida. You guys are absolutely, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have the legends that we have in our sport right now, such as Matt and Yondell and man, the list goes on. Avery and Ella and Juju, and I mean, the list just go. I'd be here for another 30 minutes talking about all the legends that come out of both of them, right? So big shout out to them. Big shout out to RD Racings, and congratulations to my man KO Walker today in BSB, proper mega season mate. Super happy for you. Vet2 Track, all my veterans out there. My buddy Jim has a program called Vet2 Track, taking care of PSD one lap at a time. It's a fabulous, amazing program. So if anybody's interested, go to vet2track.com. 64-degree racing. Tate made me a two-piece undersuit. Now, it's my favorite two-piece undersuit in the world. Not just because it's pink and purple and says Pin the Gas on it, right? It could be pink, purple, blue, black. I wouldn't care. It's absolutely an amazing two-piece undersuit. So big shout out to him. Ghetto Customs for the best custom bodywork you can buy in the game. Look no further than Chris Parrish. The Clothing Kings, they are my sponsorship out there in the UK. So everybody, if interested, can actually go to theclothingkings.co.uk and order all your Pin the Gas merch. It's absolutely amazing. That's where you see my Clothing King logo. Well, right here on my left hand, there it is. It's always different looking in the camera backwards, right?
Yeah.
And last but not least, my mates out there, BSB Barmy Army out there in the UK. He has an amazing program. Matt, what they do is they go around to riders and teams. Like, say if I come up to you and was like, hey, you got like an old helmet or an old boot or something you could sign, that I can actually put it up for auction, and it's a 501c, so it's a nonprofit, and then I take the money that I get off of your boot, or Isaac's wrecked helmet or a couple face shields or t-shirts or whatever, hats or whatever it is. And then kids coming up into the sport where their parents can't afford to buy them a brand new helmet or a back protector or money towards a new leather suit or a pair of boots. Guess what? This fund and this BSB Army, that's what they do is they give the kids their helmets and their boots and then their gloves and stuff like that to help out the future of our sport. So they have an amazing program out there. We actually need a program like that out here. And here comes my boy Rossi up in there. And look, he's got his Yondell shirt on. Check
we were at the yard sale today.
You was at the yard sale? What'd you get at the yard sale?
A He-Man Lego for free. Look.
He's always getting stuff for free, Matt. This kid right here, I'm telling you. Dude, you're ridiculous.
It's He-Man.
Well, sweet. It's He-Man. I like He-Man.
Hey, but guess what? She gave us a Beanie Baby. It's worth $6,000, and we ran all the way back up the street and gave it back to her.
High five.
Because we told her she needed it more.
Good job. Good job.
And
all right.
We got loads of stuff. We got 2 pools. I wish she didn't cut the water off because I would have put it up for me and Cam and Zach together.
He's got a lot to say. You hear him, don't you, Matt?
Please, next time, don't turn the water off.
All right, give my pen back for you steal my pen. They see that's Skeletor. Rawr. Anyway, yeah, dude. So that was Rossi. He always makes his presence on the podcast, which I think is absolutely hilarious, and it makes it for a good time, right? He's got a lot to say. I hope you guys heard that. Went to a yard sale, whatever.
It's cool. Yeah, you could hear it. They all heard it.
Yeah, it's hilarious. He's my everything, and he's the main reason why I do this podcast, Matt. That way, one day when I'm not here, he can always go back and watch his dad spread his love and friends and stories and laughs and hugs and all that good stuff. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna let Matt end the podcast. Matt, tell everybody where they can find you, the next track you're going to be at, when your merch is going to be for sale, if you have any, or upcoming.
So on Instagram, you can find me at Matthew Chapin Racing, and then Facebook, we also have a Matthew Chapin Racing group that you can join too. Honestly, I'm not really sure about, like the next merch, the merch drop or anything like that. So we just got rid of all of our shirts for free at New Jersey. We were handing them out during the fan walk. But no, I think I just got to give a huge thanks to all my sponsors, Colin Barton with BartCon Racing for everything this year. He did so much for me this year, and I mean, words can't even really thank him, you know what I mean? KYT for the best helmets all season, keep my head safe. Never had any concussions or anything from any of my falls, so that's good. Triple Strong Racing, Mike Skrotnick for building, the fastest junior cup bike out of all of them. I got to give a huge thanks to Blood Lubricants for all the oil, the chain lube, all the polishing, cleaning, all that sort of stuff. Woodcraft for all the sliders, all the bike parts. Bison for the nice custom suits. I think I had 3 or 4 crashes in my suit this season, and really all that had to happen was, we just had to get a stitching repaired. That's really it. So the suit held up perfect. So I definitely recommend them. Sport Bike Track Gear for all the parts. I mean, they have everything on their website, everything from bike parts to gloves to helmets to sliders and all stuff like that. K-Tech for helping my bike handle great all season. JT Motorsports, Vortex for all the sprockets and chains and stuff like that. Trackside Parts Clubs for the sick Alpine Star boots all season. Those were great. GPR Stabilizer for the steering stabilizers for all my bikes. Kings Valley Painting, especially Tim and Connie, who actually own the company. They helped me out all season. They came to, all the races. A lot of the far drives, I went home in their RV with them. So that got to give a huge thanks to them. Savage Viking Coffee for, making my mom happy at the racetracks. So, she's in a good mood because she has her coffee. NJ Mini GP for, everything they've done for me growing up, that's how I got on the track. I went there to go watch one weekend, and that's what I wanted to do. So, go to them if you need coaching or anything like that. They do like sick 3-day camp schools for your kids, anything like that. So if you want to get on the track, I would definitely go to NJ Mini GP, South Florida Mini GP, all those types of organizations. Huge thanks to my buddy Owen, OG Media, for all the videos this year. You know, he did everything for me. Traveled to the rounds with me. You know, just everything he did for me this year was huge, and all the social media stuff. He helped me with all of it. So I got to give a huge thanks to him. And, you know, just like everybody, all my family, all my friends, everybody else who supported me, thank you guys. Obviously, none of it wouldn't be possible without any of my family or my friends helping me out all season. So yeah, that's really it, and that's all I gotta thank. I gotta thank Chris for having me on. You know, this was a lot of fun, and honestly, it doesn't feel like an hour and 15 minutes has gone by. So yeah, just gotta give a huge thanks to everybody for everything this season.
Yeah, man, I appreciate absolutely the honors all mine. Looking forward to part 2. And before I end this and we tell everybody bye, please you can go like and subscribe to all my channels if you had not. Go to Podbean and Spotify and all that. Hit that bell and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. One more thing before I end it, Matt. What advice would you give for all the younger kids growing up looking to getting into racing?
I would say stay focused and take your time because it doesn't come easy or fast. And you know, it's gonna take a while, but if you stay focused and of course the biggest thing is if you stop having fun, then take a step back for a second, you know, like don't you need to relax and I feel like the biggest problem is just people taking it way more serious than it has to be and just taking all the fun out of it for themselves. So definitely if you're having fun, you know, just keep doing what you're doing and don't take it too serious.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute honor to sit down with the legend himself, Matthew Chapin, the 2024 Junior Cup MotoAmerica champion. And stay tuned for his news coming out and the 2025 future champion too as well. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys soon. All right. And this, dude, I had a ball. Did you have